Hello guys, Sethonan here. This is the Daily Grind and this is DC Legends. Uh, the new event for Black Lightning is already up, and as promised, I'm going to take you through the last few notes of this event. This is part 18. Teach Death a Lesson is the name of the event, and I'm only just 3 boss notes from finishing this. I already bought my energy and this is the team I'm using. I really don't remember what team I used the previous event, but now the boss for the notes is Batwoman. So there's a chance to see Batwoman in action, and she looks interesting, even though I'm only going to be able to take her maybe to Legendary 2 at most. Uh, this Siege event has not been generous to me, and I have seen many people complaining about that. And it's mostly because of the format. They changed the amount of rewards that are given at the end of the siege, and they added a lot more steps towards getting a legendary 3 character. It was very easy in the past 2 sieges, but now it's going to take well, they're trying to sell siege energy apparently, and I have seen people dedicated to doing just that. That's fine with me. I have reduced my playtime with these legends, and I'm just doing my dailies and very simple stuff, so personally I don't care, and I couldn't care less even if I try. So that's pretty much it for that. This is still a week and a couple of days of siege. I am already posed to uh, getting a legendary 1, and perhaps with her PvP week later during March, I'm gonna get her to legendary 2. Um, but like I said, I couldn't care less because I'm not interested in Batwoman. It's not a character that clicks with me. I'm much more pumped about having a legendary 4 Black Lightning, to be quite honest with all of you. And the other part is I'm doing this for the people that are interested in seeing the events, just what they are going to face. But personally, I'm done with DC Legends. I've already given this game the benefit of the doubt. I've already given the developers time to sort their stuff out. When this game started, I was a kind of an apologist because I knew that these guys are relatively new developing games, actually developing games, that they have a very limited workforce. They don't have hundreds of programmers available to build the assets and do the art and write music and do this and do that. But but I just can't stand anymore after playing some old games like Krita White Knights. I installed that again, played it for a bit. I'm not going to catch up with that after 2 years of not playing, so I left that. But they have introduced so many quality of life improvements in Krita, and that's just a random example, that it's mind-boggling that the guys at DC Legends haven't been able to come up with some rather standard options for the industry nowadays, like in the material events. there is no way to cycle the gameplay until you run out of tries. There is no way to speed force in bulk, which is something that Galaxy of Heroes has had for years now. Um, many things that Marvel Future Fight is doing, that the Knights of the Zodiac is doing, that other games are doing to improve. Well, not so much to improve the quality of life of your players, but to make it more convenient. I mean, these games are really meant to be played on the go in short bursts, like you play for perhaps 20 minutes, half an hour. So that's no longer a quick burst of gameplay. So it's in the best interest of the developer to get rid of everything that is forcing you. I mean, even a grinder like Lineage 2 has had improvements into the grinding aspect, where you can now grind offline, because these games where you grind the same stage over and over, they are murder on your phone's battery life, and really they are not. Uh, I haven't played one of these games that is so good that merits getting played on an emulator on the computer. Really, they have very limited gameplay with it. If anybody tells you otherwise, they're shilling for that company. These games have very limited gameplay. The ones that don't are few and far between. That's besides the point. I mean, if you need your players to gather 300 or 500 of some item, and the only way to get that is to grind for hours, but you're going to sell them a way to reduce that time by actually bypassing the gameplay, which that's what the Speed Force does, and that's not new or unique to DC Legends. You have to make it also convenient for your players. For example, in the Knights of the Zodiac game that I'm trying, and even in DC Unchained, that's Asian developed, and it has Asian grinder written all over the place. They don't let you speed force the Unchained mode. Like, there's no ways to automatically do the thing. There are some tickets that you can use, but you can actually buy them in bulk, like we do here, and it's only for certain game modes. But it allows you to throw an infinite on chain mode. So you just load on energy, and you can set your game on autoplay, and it's going to keep repeating the same stage over and over until you run out of energy or decide to pull out. Because you have to grind. If you want to go the grinding way in DC Unchained, you have to grind for hours to get anything done. But they make it convenient for you, and they also added the tactics, which are pre-built configurations on what your characters are going to do when meeting certain criteria, that make the grinding very convenient. Like, you can automatically switch to a character that has the type advantage over the enemy, or you can use a certain skill in certain situations and stuff like that. That is convenient for your players. And DC Legends just thrives on making everything everything as cumbersome, as boring, as un, unintuitive, and I'm running out of adjectives to describe this game at its core. And I'm tired of saying this. It's not a bad game per se. It's not a bad game, but it's very limited, and it doesn't offer you nowadays, now in 2019, it doesn't offer you anything that other games don't already offer you, and the competitors offerings are way better developed. Like, I just can't believe I can pause this game, answer a phone call without the game resetting itself. If they told me that that was to prevent cheaters and that actually worked, if this game had no cheaters, I could put up with it. I can't believe that this game consumes an incredible amount of bandwidth that you are forced to basically play it at your house or at work, but only through Wi-Fi because it keeps downloading stuff in the background. Why? Who knows? The Knights of the Soviet game that I'm playing nowadays, it's pretty big, computing wise. It's almost 2 gigabytes after all the updates and the main program installation is finished. And let me tell you, it hasn't, in the 5 months that I have been playing that game, it has never kicked me out because it hasn't been able to communicate to the game server. And keep in mind that game is pretty much China exclusive. That's pretty much it. It's designed and all the servers are in China, and you can play from the Asian community. Everything is in Chinese and whatnot. But it allows me to play real-time turn-based combat with another player in Asia, and it has never timed out for me in 5 months. And we know DC Legends just loves to throw out of sync issues at you at the drop of a hat. You are never going to guess. I might be jinxing this, but it could very well just drop me and kick me out of the server right now when I'm playing this, and it's not going to refund me energy, and I'm not going to get the pieces if I had finished a material event. It's not going to refund me the pieces that I want, and in general is not friendly to the end user. And I'm already fed up with that. I've already been patient. I've given this game all the benefits of the doubt that it was allowed to have. I'm glad for that reason that I haven't spent any money in this, because I don't even mind that they nerf stuff and change stuff around or whatever. That's expected in this day and age of continually evolving games, but that's the problem in the end. This game is not evolving. It's adding stuff, but the stuff is not evolving. Any other combat game like this one will have a monthly patch where they will be balancing things like mass gesture damage, like Cancer Girls, the Cancer Twins issues where they basically dominate the meta in a bad way that is not conducive to better gameplay. And I think I'm finishing the event. But anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna keep making content for DC Legends, mostly the events. Like next week there is Vixen and whatnot. Um, but I'm really going to focus on other games. Like I've already done the guides for the newbies, which was one of my main concerns. I hated when people ask around how to play the events and that gearing is hard and whatnot, which I sincerely don't believe. And like some guy that the previous video of this event told me that well, I'm using gear 11 characters, so my run doesn't count. Well, I'm not trying to impress anybody, I'm just showing you guys what the event looks like, so you don't have to wait until tomorrow when somebody else has managed, because they don't come up with the teams on their own. There is discussion and there is a consensus on Theorycraft on what kind of teams will be able to finish these events. Please notice that very few other people upload the last notes of this type of events, and that's because they don't succeed at the first time, at the first try. So yeah, my runs are not to show off that, oh well, I did it with less, because I don't believe in that. I don't believe it's convenient. I can relate to that. I can understand some people wanting to stay at low gears, low level. I consider now anything that is below level 70 to be low level, because level 60 you can get in 2 months for your account, and you can start from the very beginning, and that's something that I have already shown you. You can start an account and start making millions of essence on the second week. You can get to level 30 in a couple of days, to level 40 in a couple of weeks, and if you start spending gold to level up, you can make level 60 for your account within 1 month. So you can pretty much start at any point in time, in by the time that you get to the next month, you should be able to get all your tools that you're interested in gearing up. You can get at least 5 or 6 tools to level 60 to gear 10, and you will still have gold and essence to spare in droves. So I don't buy that, and it personally irritates me when I read people whining that gearing up is too hard. It's very boring. I'm never gonna tire of saying that. It's very boring to gear tools in this game, and it's being rendered pretty much pointless, since you can score on PvP better if you stay at gear what we call gear 10.5. I find that obnoxious and disrespectful of all the people that bother to gear up their teams, whether they spend money or not, because it's a sign of bad design. And it personally also irritates me when people complain that their Gear 8, Gear 9 team is not able to finish these events. Well, guess what? Even at Gear 10, they're pretty doable, even though you have now, because now they have increased the difficulty again. These things were very, very easy a couple of months ago, or at least half a year ago. These events were very, very easy to finish, even on a Gear 9 and Gear 10 team. Well, Gear 9 was easy, and a Gear 10 you could even put on auto, and the thing was going to 3-star everything. Now that's not the case anymore. You have to play a bit around, so it's not mind-numbing anymore. It's still not adjusted for Gear 11, so it doesn't force you in any way. That's the cool thing about DC Legends, that it doesn't force you to upgrade your characters, but at the same time that's pretty lame, because you can spend your gaming life in this title, being a lobby with level 50 characters or level 59 characters in Gear 9, and you're going to reach this thing. And okay, let me rank up Black Lightning to 3. And if they gave any kind of achievement, or if they gave you extra shards from actually finishing the event with a low level, I'm gonna take this one. Double damage if Black Lightning is overhealed. If they gave you any prize from 3-starring the first time, which is something they actually do on the Knights of the Zodiac game, the very first time that you attempt a material events, and they have several levels for the material events, you are tasked with finishing the stage a certain way. It conditions some guys have to survive. For example, at least 4 guys have to survive, and the guys that survive have to survive the level with at least half health, and you have to finish the fight in under 6 turns, for example. And you're not allowed to reach the next level, the next stage, until you fulfill those conditions. And that at least makes it more interesting, and you can autoplay the stage until you meet that criteria. So there's an incentive to gear up your characters, to develop your characters. Wow, the double damage is just so underwhelming on Black Lightning. So there's an incentive to develop your characters and to gear them up and whatnot. Oh, there's somebody jumping. Yeah, this game is not doing anything for me anymore. And as you can see, gearing up your team actually makes your life easier. So I don't understand why people choose to stay low gear, low level, except the fact that I know that they're saving gold from doing that, and as such they can buy shards, but then they come and complain that Siege is unfair because they very quickly run into full gear 11 teams, and what's the point? I mean, if you purposely stay low and are not doing your best, are not giving your best to the game to be competitive, then why do you complain that the competitiveness of the event is too much for you? That would be like going to the Olympic Games and without training, and then bitching that the other guys are beating you because they spent the previous year training their asses off, and as such they are better than you. You can have it both ways. That's how I see it. Like yeah, guys. I get that you don't want to spend the gold gearing up the characters because you want to buy guys that you're interested in. But that's not the game fault. That's well, kind of your fault for not being here from the beginning. I mean, uh, do you go into Marvel Future Fight, which has been out for like 4 years or 5 years, and bitch that you can't get all the characters that form part of the meta in the first few weeks? And Marvel is pretty brutal on its PvP. Much more than DC Legends, where you can at least reach top 1500 on any composition, but it has to be at least year 10, and some mofos are doing that with year 9 and then bitching because once they reach top 1500 in a couple of days, because they get big points from not being geared up, that they can do anything, that they can play. And there is one solution, and that solution is gearing up. So I don't understand what these guys want. Really boggles my mind that these guys complain that this is too hard, but they don't put the minimum effort into doing stuff. And if you are going to excuse from it is a game, it's not so serious, well, there are tourneys about air guitar, so there's that. Oh well, that was a good fight. That was a good strike. Like a 15k critical, and this is a gear 9 Black Lightning. He can only improve when I get him to gear 11. So there's that. And it looks like Batwoman is going to be one of those characters that really needs the right composition, because at least versus these guys, their damage is nothing to write home about. And of course he has like 4 times the HP that the actual character should have. So that's the only reason she's still standing. And maybe this maybe this node looks easy, but I'm already starting to bore because it's taking way too long. My team just doesn't do enough damage. But her side is also not doing enough damage. So let's hope that, yes, finally. And she gets an awareness, so that's cool. So pretty obviously they're going to pair Bad Woman with the Cancer Queens, and I'm already cringing. Well, but at least versus green characters she is garbage, and versus reds too. Blah 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 blah, badly written stuff. This month wasn't even entertaining. So, well, that was it for the event. Teach Death a lesson. Those were the last few notes. Forgive me if I didn't narrate a play-by-play, but I trust that you guys will just silence the commentary and will rewind the video a bit, and that you are intelligent enough to figure stuff on your own. Now remember, for a couple of months now, all these events change the enemies randomly. So my run, this whole event was full of green enemies, but yours might have a different configuration, but I'm suspecting that it won't have blue guys, so you can bring your greens without much trouble. With that said, I thank you all for your time. I thank you for subscribing to the channel, for leaving comments and whatnot. So you know already, if you like the channel, leave a like. If you don't, leave a comment and tell me how I can improve the channel. This was the Daily Grind. We'll see each other next time, and in the meantime, keep grinding on.